Hey fellow gardeners, Dawn here from Seasonal Designs. Today we're planting up 2 more containers. These happen to be the large containers that I have flanking either side of the patio here on the back of our house. Now these are probably about 3 foot tall, circumference wise probably 24, 26 inches. They are pretty big. They are Michael Carr and they're kind of this really pretty aqua blue. And I really love these containers. I think they work really well with the bluestone patio. And what we're gonna plant them up with today are what I call leftovers. So after a week worth of client installs, typically what happens is I have some leftovers. 2 of these, 1 of those, 4 of those. You never wanna go to an install with not enough product because then you have to leave and go get more. You always wanna go with more than enough. But then what happens is instead of returning it, really, I bring it home hoping that I can use it at another install, and if not, then I try to use it here at my own house. So in just a second, I'm going to show you some of the things we're going to be using today. Here's what we're using today. In the center, I'm going to be using this white Gaura, and I really like this plant because it's kind of airy. It'll get bigger, it'll get taller, but it's similar to a grass, and sometimes I like to use grasses in my containers, but this has a pretty little white butterfly-ish looking flower on the tips of it that just kind of wave in the wind, and I really like this. So we're going to use one of these, and this I actually saw, and I always like these. I purchased this to use in one of my containers. The rest of this is kind of leftover stuff. So I have, I think just 2 Ageratum I'm going to be using. I have this pretty verbena, this is a superbenia called Imperial Blue. I also have a Supertunia Vista Jazzberry I'm going to be using. This is called Beth's Blue, and it's an isotoma. This gets like 12 to 14 inches tall. I just think it has pretty little blue starry flowers, kind of purpley blue. I only have like 2 of these, so 1 for each pot. Then I have a couple of these Diamond Frost euphorbias. These get about 12 to 18 inches tall. They really have kind of a different texture, and the flower is very minute, but it gives your containers kind of this a little bit of a different texture with a little pop of white, which I like. I also have another Supertunia called Vista Scarlet. And then I have this cute little pink flower here. This is called Diagia, if I'm saying that correctly. It's Darla Rose. It's a delicate little flower with little tiny pink flowers, and this actually likes full sun to part shade, so kind of nice. It has a range of different settings it would be good in. And then last but not least, I have a Creeping Jenny that we are going to let drape over the front and down the middle. So that is the recipe, and of course at the end of this video I will have pictures of the tags so you know exactly what I've used in this, but we are going to get this planted up before we lose our sunlight. Now the first thing I like to do is I like to put the centerpiece in, and then I like to take all my other plants and I'm going to place them on the dirt around my centerpiece so I have this laid out exactly how I want it. Then I will plant it up. The other thing I want to remind you is always use a good potting mix that's made for containers. So once I have everything really laid out in the way that I think it's going to look really good, I'm going to take everything out of the container and I'm going to plant everything up. Well, what do you think, guys? I think these are going to be so pretty. Once they fill in, I'm loving the purples and the pinks with just a touch of red and a little bit of white. Really some of my favorite colors. Now, don't forget to give your containers a good drink of water. I'm going to put the recipe again for this at the end of the video. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because we are going to check back in on all of the containers we have done so far this year together. We'll be seeing you then. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.